What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Watching Paint Dry here on Another Letdown. My name is Zach from Another Letdown Media and the This Is Difficult video game podcast, and I'll be one of your hosts this evening. Watching Paint Dry is the show where we hang out on a Saturday night after we should have thought about going to bed and work through the ridiculous backlog of miniatures that we've accumulated, either via 3D printing or purchase, that require painting in some way. There's an old adage that says if a miniatures painter ever runs out of projects to work on, he or she will die. So we're just trying to stave off death for as long as possible. And joining me on the line, as per usual, it's my producer, our friend Mike. Chamali, how's it going?
It is going well. It's been a while.
It has been a minute. I think the last time we broadcast was, according to YouTube, 2 months ago.
Oof.
Because life finds a way to get in the way, either via Gen Con or family vacation or school starting up last week. Actually, I think all of us were just fighting burnout last week. Broody and I tried. We got down to the 0 hour before we canceled it, and we just were like, we can't do this. And I mean, that comes with the territory, I guess, a little bit in terms of the fact that we paint really late at night. And we're at least 2 out of the 3 of us, well, 3 out of 4 of us are fathers. And Adam has been the one to actually play it sanely and really only come in when he can. The other 3 of us are like, no, we must paint, and it's all good and fine and whatever. As with all the shows that we host here on the Another Letdown Media channel, as well as the This Is Difficult podcast network at large, we believe in civil rights for absolutely everyone and in being as inclusive as possible. So any comments or activity actively working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. So I've got Mr. Fantastic. Chamali's got even more shield dummies. We're hoping that he'll finish those up pretty soon. And let's get painting. Here we go. We're back at it. So when I left off Mr. Fantastic, I had just finished his base coat ink wash situation. And I don't know how well it's coming through on the camera. I'm going to zoom right in on my brush here. My brushes are getting pretty rugged, so I bought some new ones at Gen Con. Problem is, they're currently with Jacqueline because she is shipping the stuff that I purchased at Gen Con to me because I travel with only a backpack, and she is a bad influence. Convinces me to buy things that I don't need. So I'm suffering with some brushes that really could use some TLC today.
Well, hopefully she gets you the new brushes relatively soon.
Yeah, and it's new brushes and paint too.
Oh yes.
I bought a whole new paint system that we'll be talking about pretty soon. Actually, very excited about it.
Let's not spoil the fun.
Yeah. We'll keep that. Keep that G14 classified top secret. It's a couple of things that I was just getting fed up with Citadel, so I've been on the prowl, and we'll talk about that more in coming weeks. Yes, RPD, we finally did beat the curse. We got the show back on the air. And it's good to be back. It's very good to be back. It's been a long day. Fundraising with my students all day. And let me tell you, they put the fun back in fundraising, those kids.
You know, one of the problems for waiting this long is I can't remember what color I used, and I just completely did a dumb mistake.
Would you say it was learning and growing, or just a stupid?
This is probably a really stupid.
Uh-oh.
But, let's see. Maybe I can guess. I might be able to guess. Oh, I think I used a speed paint.
Oh, yes, there was a speed paint involved in what you were doing. Oh, yes, that's true. Over on YouTube, our good friend Candace is fundraising for her move by playing a game that she introduced me to a long time ago. It's called Tender Loving Care. It's a full motion video game. For those of you watching on YouTube, want to catch that, it's over. I think her channel... Actually, RPD will post a link in the chat, and it should show up right on the screen here.
She's moving again?
She is.
Good for her.
Yeah. Always looking for a better situation than that one. We're very proud of Candace.
This works. It's not the exact color, but I could
Get behind it.
go over.
Seems good to me.
Oh,
I think I may have gone a little too light with this blue, but I'm kind of thinning it down, and I think it'll be okay. I think with the base coat that I used, it'll work pretty alright. So yeah, we did. My students did a yard sale today.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I love a good yard sale. Especially as a retro game modder. Shout out to our friends at Handheld Legend. There's my plug for the night. There's a link in my... yes, perfect. Okay, excellent. RPD says linktree, linktr.ee/Candace likes you is where you can hit up Candace's stream and her donation stuff. We love her. We wish her the best. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Back to Handheld Legend. They are my parts supplier for Game Boy mods. They sponsor us at least a little bit in part. There's a link in my channel description with a coupon code, which I do get a kickback from.
Who doesn't love a good coupon code?
Who doesn't indeed?
Frick.
And did have I mean, in terms of yard sales, I mean, we had such an eclectic pile of whatever on our table. But boy, are those students good at moving some stuff. One kid brought in... This is the best thing. Ready?
I am ready.
So one kid brought in... He went to the dump this morning, which I did as well. And he picked up 2 fly fishing rods and brought them in, plunked them down on the table. He's like, I picked these up at the dump. Do you think they'll sell? And I'm like, I doubt it. They're trashy fly fishing rods. Within the first 2 hours of our setup, he had sold those fly fishing rods for $40.
Wow.
Yep, it was awesome. I was so proud of that kid.
That's great.
Yeah.
We
were laughing so hard. But yeah, we had like, you know, a bunch of my wife's like old planner stuff that she's, you know, moved on to a different branch just she's not going to use. Or I put a bunch of like movies and stuff that I've replaced with Blu-rays or digital.
Yeah.
That I just don't care about. Like Scooby-Doo. Like, I don't need a physical copy of Scooby-Doo. If that leaves my digital library, I'm not going to be upset about it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And that's all, you know, some made some kid happy. He was traveling from like Massachusetts or whatever, and his dad said, "Oh, this is great. You know, you got the portable DVD player in the back seat. Buy yourself a new movie, $2." I was like, "Great, yeah, here you go. Both Scooby-Doo movies. Get them for $1 a piece. Can't do better." And I'm sure that kid's day was made.
Exactly.
I sold a bunch of comics for, you know, way less than they're worth, but that's fine.
Well, if you ever want to get rid of your Amalgam comics...
No! Get bent!
I was going to say I know a buyer, but... The buyer's me.
Yes, I kind of put that together. No, it was just a bunch of Batman and Spider-Man stuff that I had duplicates of.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
And again, it made some little kid's day, and I'm like, I'm all about it.
Yeah. They're probably ecstatic about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's like early 80s detective comics. Just some good stories in there.
Sometimes that's all you need is some sort of just good one-shot story.
Exactly.
You don't need a massive
Like overarching plot or anything like that. You just a good little one-off.
doesn't need to span 18 different issues of 4 different books.
No, not at all. Not at all.
But
Um,
yeah, no, that's good.
yeah, and then it's kind of an interesting like thrift story weekend here for me because I also went retro game hunting yesterday.
Yeah, I saw your haul.
The haul was good. The pickings were good. I don't know if RPD saw it though. He usually comments when I do. Well, I call it pulling an RPD. He's calling you a damn heretic.
Who, me?
Yeah,
Why am I a heretic?
for claiming that comics are better when or are sometimes better when you don't have an overarching situation.
Oh,
I think he's being sarcastic.
my bad. Sorry.
So yeah, the games that I'm very excited to own now are Super Star Wars, all 3 of them for Super Nintendo, which I got for $20 a piece. Not upset about that at all. As Adam has frequently reminded me, $20 for Super Nintendo games is pretty darn good these days for pretty much anything. I got Goof Troop for, I think, $30.
Such a good game.
It's a great game. I mean, that was a steal. And it's in fantastic shape. I mean, oh my goodness, the previous owner like took care of that console or that cartridge. I picked up a couple of different NES cartridges. I got River City Ransom, which RPD caused me to fall in love with way early on in my streaming career. And amongst other people, I mean, obviously Adam and Paul contributed to that as well, but RPD was there for the stream. And my most exciting pick was a copy of The Clash at Demon Head, which is, of course, the namesake of the band, the rival band from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And I am very excited to play that. I sort of previewed it via emulation last week, and I was like, yeah, this is pretty good. I would like to own this game, and I was like, I don't want to pay too much for it, but it does seem like one worth putting in the shelf. So
I don't think I've ever played. I didn't even know that was a real game, to be honest.
I don't know why I knew it was, but
all I knew was the Scott Pilgrim reference, and I didn't realize that that's what it was from until you just said it, to be honest.
Well, Jamali's doing learning and growing out here.
Yeah. So as soon as you said it, I'm like, oh, that's where I know that from. It's been racking my brain ever since I saw it. I'm like, why do I know that? I know that from somewhere.
Yep. I figure with the Scott Pilgrim anime series coming out very soon, and the disaster that was our attempt to stream Scott Pilgrim that one time, we need to redeem ourselves, and the only way to do so is by playing the Clash of Demon Head.
I don't think we talk about that that incident. That was a disaster.
That was. I mean, it was fun and hilarious, but it was an absolute unmitigated disaster.
Yeah. It's a shame. But
what do you
well.
do? We did hardcore learning and growing, and now we know that if we're going to play a cooperative game like that, it needs to be on either Steam or Xbox.
Yeah.
And by Xbox, I mean Game Pass.
For sure. So I finished Secret Invasion this week.
Okay.
I watched maybe the first 2 episodes, and then took probably a whenever it launched to this week hiatus.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually enjoyed it a lot more than I originally did. I don't know if it just picked up. Maybe my memory was faulty, or maybe I just wasn't in the mood to watch it originally. But originally, it just kind of I just bounced off it, and it was like, yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But as I was watching it this week, it was on, and I was like, you know what? I'm actually enjoying this. It's going on. I'm not paying like super close attention to it, but it's on. I wouldn't say in the background. It's on the foreground more so.
Yeah.
So, and there were some pretty cool references in there.
To comics or to other shows?
Both.
Nice.
They introduced. The villain was actually really cool. And they went. The show was very predictable, though. That's the one downside.
See, that's the biggest problem that I have with it. Is it's supposed to be a spy thriller, but it's predictable.
I think most spy thrillers are predictable, though.
James Bond certainly is, but that's not. Like, I don't even necessarily consider that a spy thriller at this point.
I would say most of them are. I don't really see many spy thrillers that I'm like, oh, that twist. Okay, you got me, and it was something that I could really deduce from somewhere. Like, if you're gonna get me with a twist, it's because it's out of left field. Like the what are they? The Knives Out murder one. Mm-hmm. But even that one has a little. You can kind of see some of it, but
yeah.
The latest one was kind of like, no, the logic wasn't even there. It's like the logic was that there was no logic and it was stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's dumb. That's no fun.
Right.
So, I did enjoy it.
RPD makes note that Europe did a pretty good job upgrading the James Bond formula to a subgenre throughout the 60s and 70s, but it kind of devolved after that. I did really like Bullet Train, which is not really a spy thriller, it's more just an action thriller, but like that movie's fun. Like, really fun.
I enjoyed Bullet Train as well. I don't consider that a spy thriller.
No, it's not.
I did enjoy that.
Yeah. I got 2 episodes into Secret Invasion, and I was like, okay, this is... I have fallen asleep in both of these first 2 episodes. That could be, as Paul pointed out, my sleep patterns just not being conducive to watching a show like that. Or it could be that I don't enjoy that show. I don't know which one it is. I hope it's the former. I don't want to hate this show. I don't.
That's fair. As I said, I bounced off the first 2 episodes. So I would recommend at least getting through the next 2. Mm-hmm. And if you still bounce off the next 2, then it's just like, whatever. Have it on in the background. Quick.
I will finish the show. I mean, I will finish the show.
Oh, okay.
But I just don't know how fast. I haven't started Ahsoka yet. Mostly because I just barely finished Mandalorian.
Oh, that's the other show that I completely forgot about. Mandalorian. I need to go back to that.
That show, season 3 was good. It was fun.
Was it?
Yeah, I really dug it. And actually, I should delineate here. It was fun. It was a fun series of television. I don't know that I would call it objectively good.
That's fair.
Considering where Star Wars has been the last however long. I'm not going to complain about it.
Yeah, that's fair. So yeah, I did watch Guardians 3. I enjoyed Guardians 3.
I have not seen that yet. It's been sitting on my... I mean, I have a pile of Blu-rays now on my table that I need to watch.
Oh yeah?
Most notably, The Doom That Came to Gotham.
Ah, yes.
I really, like... You'd be hard-pressed to find a mainstream comic book movie that is more tailor-made for me.
Yes.
Now, that said, there is a indie movie coming out that is arguably on that level.
Oh, yeah?
RPD knows what I'm talking about. The director of the FP, Jason Trost, his new project is... I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically like Cthulhu Mythos meets Resident Evil.
Oh.
And I'm like, yeah, that's made for me. Like,
that sounds interesting.
yeah, I'm into it, and the fact that it's a B movie, so it's not, there's no big Hollywood studio behind it. It's, they can film it during the middle of a writer's strike, like.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something else. No, I'm forgot what it was. Oh, so I also watched the Twisted Metal series.
Okay, how is that?
I enjoyed it.
Good.
A lot more than I thought I would.
I'm really, really glad to hear that. Like, I am really glad to hear that. I aside from being a fan of Anthony Mackie, I'm a huge Twisted Metal fan.
Anthony Mackie was probably the worst part of it.
Okay, that's fine. That doesn't bother me, oddly.
And he was actually really good in it. So
nice.
like,
okay, cool.
Yeah, I just didn't think like he didn't really make sense. That
Sure.
was the biggest problem.
Yeah.
Sweet Tooth was the best part of it.
Who plays Sweet Tooth?
Oh,
Is it just, the phrase "no name" is perfectly acceptable here.
No Name plays the physical embodiment of Sweet Tooth.
Oh, is it a notable voice, like actor playing? I can't say voice
Yes.
actor anymore. It's actor playing the voice.
The voice was voiced by. This should be a lot easier to look up.
I'm looking too.
Oh no, Will Arnett.
Oh no way!
Will
That's
Arnett.
dope! Oh my god, Joe Bluth. And Sweet Tooth's body is Samoa Joe? Oh no way!
Joe Spinoa. That's
Samoa Joe. He's a wrestler.
Ah. So I guess he's not a name. I don't know. I didn't
No
know.
name in terms of screen acting though, like.
That's fair.
I would. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go with a really small brush on this. This could be fun.
He was probably my favorite part of the show.
I mean, he should be on some level. Is it just the standard like Sweet or Calypso doing his thing, like the same plot from the game, or
no? Calypso doesn't appear, but he does make a cameo.
okay,
If there is a season 2, that's probably what season 2 will be.
okay.
I guess spoilers for the end, maybe.
That is the kind of show that I am genuinely not in any way worried about spoilers.
I don't really think it. No, but whatever. Yeah. There are like story spoilers and stuff. But and here's the really good part about the whole show.
Mm-hmm.
And my favorite part: each episode is like a half hour long.
That's good.
So it was like perfect. Like there was no over the top, like drawn out, like I need to draw this out for another 10-15 minutes because we need to make up content.
Right.
They were just straight to the point. Here's the thing.
In and out,
fill in
down
the
and
gaps.
dirty, done.
Yeah. There were some things that like could have been drawn out, but they're like, no, you can fill the gaps in yourself.
Yep. Good. Someone did their homework.
They had a lot of cool world building that I didn't think. There was a lot of dumb world building too, but
that's all right. $1 million question right now.
Okay.
Did they have Rob Zombie do the soundtrack?
I don't think so.
Oh,
the soundtrack wasn't that great that I remember. There was.
So
there were some good songs, but
Twisted Metal 3 and 4 were scored by Rob Zombie.
I think I knew that.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal always had good music.
Oh, it sure did. And the fact that you could pop the CD, the PlayStation disc into a CD player and just skip the first track, because the game data was all in the first track, and then the music, the soundtracks was always on the subsequent.
Yeah.
How many of the more obscure characters? RPD would like to know if we get Club Kid or Pizza Boy. Club Kid.
I think there's references to some obscure characters, but most characters didn't make appearances.
Was Flower Power in?
Do you really want answers?
Okay, then sure. I mean, yeah, sure. Why not?
I think Flower Power was in it,
okay.
But I don't know, for example, like all the names and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
I don't think if she was, they didn't show exactly her driving her car.
Gotcha. But what about Mr. Grimm?
Mr.
I know
Grimm
Axel
not.
is in.
Axel is not.
He's shown.
He's not in it.
Oh, that's weird. I saw pictures of him online.
Nope.
Oh, I need to go lighter. What am I doing?
Unless he's not like just not an obvious character like holding two giant wheels.
That's strange. Maybe I was reading something else. First week of school, my scrolling of CBR tends to drop off a little bit.
He is like a cameo.
Oh, maybe
but
that's
he's
what
not
it is.
in it. Yeah, like he would be in the next season if he's in it.
Okay. Minion?
No Minion.
Oh.
Twister was in it. They had references to a couple of the cops. I don't remember because I know the cops changed each game.
Yes.
The Outlaws, I think.
Outlaw.
The car.
And one game, Outlaw was ex-military. I think that was Twisted Metal 3. Oh, RPD says which version of Warthog did they go with? Oh, that's right.
I didn't see a Warthog.
Twisted Metal 3 Outlaw is... Yes, that's right. Twisted Metal 1 and 2 Outlaws driving the same car. That's right. That's right. You're right. You're absolutely right.
I don't understand. What did he say?
In Twisted Metal 3, Outlaw is the first 2 Outlaws driving the same car.
Oh, okay.
That is entirely correct.
I remember there being 2. I thought they were siblings.
Yeah. And then was it RPD? Was it 4 that Sweet Tooth stole the Twisted Metal tournament from Calypso, and Calypso had to drive in it to get it back?
I thought that was 3.
No,
It
Calypso
was the PS2. Maybe it was black.
Oh, it might have been black. Oh, he says Twisted Metal 4.
I don't remember 3 though. 2 is
3
what...
was my favorite.
I do. I still own Twisted Metal 2. Don't have the front cover of the case. But let's see, we got Thumper, Hammerhead, Mr. Grimm, Outlaw 2, Grasshopper, Shadow, Axel, Mr. Slam. Oh, Mr. Slam was in it.
Oh, nice.
Twister, Spectre, Warthog, and Roadkill. Yeah, no, but Mr. Slam was just his character. You didn't actually see his car, which is probably why I don't recognize a lot of people, because I would know their cars more so. But than their names.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember did they RPD says did they sneak in one character from Twisted Metal Black just to mess with the audience?
Who is that?
He's asking. I think
I don't
somewhat
know.
rhetorically.
I don't know. I would need to know what all the characters were from Black.
Yeah.
I never really played Black.
I didn't either.
2 was like the one I played all the time.
3 was that for me.
Yeah. So 2 is the one I know the best.
Brought my cousin's PS1 down to North Carolina with us a couple of years. Or maybe it was the PS2 and we just only had the PlayStation 1 games. Regardless, we played so gosh darn much Twisted Metal.
Yeah.
Like, we'd get back from the beach every day and just immediately play Twisted Metal until dinner was ready.
It was such a good game. Like, such a fun game. Yeah.
Oh!
What else?
Here's a thing. Did you see that? You know, from Top Gear, the Hammond's Opel Kadett Oliver?
No.
No, bummer. Well, that takes the wind out of my sails a little bit. He has this little Opel Kadett. It's a dumb little car, but it traveled across like Botswana or something, where both cars that May and Clarkson bought were notoriously problematic. Oliver just kind of skipped along and did perfectly fine, even though he, on paper, shouldn't have. It's a car from the 1940s. Hammond founded a sister. He now has 2
What?
Opal Cadets.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's delightful and wholesome. Like, you can't get much more wholesome than that. All right, Mr.
Hammond's
Fantastic. It's just about done.
Oh, that's good. So
Yeah.
Hammond has 2 Opal Cadets.
Yep,
That's good. That's great.
Oliver and Olivia.
Uh, so you finished the Mass Effect trilogy.
I did, yes. I sure did.
How was that?
Well,
That's good.
yeah. Mass Effect 3 really does leave you a little bit cold. It's like you put in all this work, you brought Shepard this far. Like, the payoff is just not good. It's pretty bad. But the gameplay is so solid that it basically just makes up for it. Like, I did not have a disappointing time playing those games by any stretch of the imagination.
No, the gameplay has always been solid.
Yeah.
Even the first one, which is easily the weakest gameplay in most people's eyes,
Yeah.
was solid.
The story in the first one's also makes up for a lot, you know.
Yeah, I think the story in the first one's the best.
There is a strong part of me that agrees with you, but I would also argue that 2 is also very good.
Did you see the conversation that Adam and I had today in the random chat?
I did not. I had no cell signal today.
Oh, okay. So let me pose you a question.
Sure.
Who is your favorite Disney villain?
Oh. Disney villain? Okay. Can you be more specific?
No. Because that is the question that I
Well, then it's Darth Vader.
proposed. Okay. Well, Star Wars, I wouldn't consider Star Wars Disney.
So that means you're not considering Marvel Disney either.
That is correct. I would, they're their own names and own brands.
Okay. Hopper from A Bug's Life?
Oh, okay. That's interesting. I think that's technically Pixar, but I'll accept that one. So Adam shot out 3, and the one I had in mind, I immediately agreed with, and that is Gaston.
Gaston's pretty good. That's a really good choice.
The
Jafar or Hades would be the other considerations there.
Yeah, those are the other 2 that Adam shot out.
Yeah, okay. It looks like RPD agrees with me here.
I think Hades is acceptable. Jafar, I'm not a huge fan of, but I can see it. But Gaston, and then we went on a whole rant about Gaston and how he is not actually a villain. He is the hero of his own story. In every other story, if you did Little Red Riding Hood, Gaston is the hunter. 100%. Yeah. And he's the hero.
Captain Hook is also a good consideration.
Hook is a very good consideration, but Hook doesn't have the screen time that the others have.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's very
in
fair.
the original.
Well, right.
If we're talking Hook itself, which
I don't. So okay, come with me on this journey. I don't think that Captain Hook in the movie Hook is the villain. I think that the villain is it's an internal struggle that is brought to light by the vessel that is Captain Hook.
Yeah. I mean, that's the the whole point of the movie is that it's Peter waking up to be himself again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's the primary antagonist is Hook, but the plot of the story is the internal struggle, man versus himself.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yes. Man versus self.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, I'm casting my brain around, think of other notable Disney villains, and most of them are just the same character. Like, you've got your Maleficent, you've got your Evil Queen, you've got your
Ursula.
Yeah, they're just the same. Like, the reason I say Hopper was just doing what he was just trying to survive. Same as the ants. Now, yes, he was extorting, lesser workers to do so, but like Animal Kingdom, right?
Yeah.
It was analogous to what would happen in the Animal Kingdom, and it's like, okay, it's a little.
I mean, one could say that Mufasa was extorting the Animal Kingdom too.
Absolutely, 100%.
I would even throw Scar into that same, just pure evil.
Yeah.
Category of villain.
So here's
More
a question.
Tyrant, but evil, but still.
So here's a follow-up question then. What is the best villain performance by a voice actor in a canonical Disney movie?
By a voice actor?
Like, what is the best voice performance of a villain character in a Disney movie? Incidentally, it's worth noting that we're listening to the Metroid Prime 3 soundtrack right now in the background. It's a very like ominous part as we're talking about villains.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Let's see. Gaston's really good.
Gaston is very good. Scar is extremely good.
Scar is good. Who?
Frollo from The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Tony
Jay did a really good performance on that one.
I believe you. He doesn't stick in my head. I've only seen The Hunchback like once or twice. So
that's one of my favorites. I mean, obviously, Scar.
Yeah.
Have to be up there. That's what, Jeremy Irons?
I think so.
Yeah. Obviously, I mean, Hades
is up there.
Yeah, it's James Woods. That's, I mean, absolute next level. Like, that guy's amazing at his craft.
Probably Scar or Gaston. Gaston's probably one of the better ones, to be fair.
It's been a very long time since I've seen Beauty and the Beast. But yeah, Gaston is phenomenal.
But Gaston has some of the best songs, too.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, his namesake song, Gaston, is arguably is probably the best villain song.
Yeah, but isn't that mostly LeFou, though?
Mostly LeFou. However, Scar's song is really good too.
Be prepared.
Be prepared.
So, fun story about that. Did you know that Jeremy Irons blew his voice out while recording that song, and it had to be finished by really notable voice actor, does the voice of Winnie the Pooh.
I did not know that, and I don't know
What's
who
his
you're
name?
talking about. I don't know.
RPD, help me out. Jim Cummings, thank you.
Interesting. Nope,
Yeah.
didn't know that. But that song is really good.
It's
Be
phenomenal.
prepared.
I mean, great team effort between Jeremy Irons and Jim Cummings. Friends on the Other Side. Yeah, good one. I also definitely think that Disney musicals have this like otherworldly power that other Disney movies don't have. Like, there's a reason that movies like Frozen are so much more infectious than and have the longevity over something like Hercules. Well, Hercules was a musical, but like the Muses did most of the singing there, and Megara. You get a little bit of singing from Herc. Absolutely nothing from Danny DeVito, thank God.
Hercules wasn't like, it's just okay.
I love that
Fair.
movie. I really do love that movie. But like, you know, here's one that absolutely like nobody even remembers most of the time is The Rescuers Down Under. That movie's great, but it doesn't have the staying power because it isn't a musical. I firmly believe because it isn't a musical.
That's a good point. Very good points.
All right. I added a second highlight coat on his uniform, just to kind of bring out the muscle tone a little bit. Mr. Fantastic is actually ripped in this sculpt, but I'm really happy with how that color came out.
Good.
Come on, camera. There we go. Oh yeah. Now we got it on screen. I gotta do the base ring. Actually, I wanted to add a little bit of Nihilakh Oxide to the rusted bits, like the random metal bits. I'm not doing full rusted stuff like I did on like Spider-Man and Luke Cage, but a little bit of rusting. Just punch this up a little bit. I'm gonna go quite sparingly though.
Besides that, I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 lately.
Heard good things.
The game is phenomenal. All the good things you've heard are probably true.
Nice. Probably not one I'm going to get around to, but I'm excited that people are enjoying it and able to enjoy it.
The reason it's so good is the game is so adaptable.
Nice. That's what I want to hear.
Like, Adam and I were talking about that too, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I did this in this order." I'm like, "You did what?" Like, I'm way past him at this point. Like, I'm at towards the end of Act 2 right now, and he hasn't even finished Act 1. So like, I finished a lot of like, and he's just like telling me, I'm like, I don't even know like how you did that. That is so cool.
Yeah.
There are characters that I have just straight up booted from the game.
Yeah.
Like, they're just not in my game anymore. Like, goodbye, see ya.
Yeah.
Not because the story told me to, but just because that's
It felt
just how
right
my
to you.
game is.
Yeah.
Well, that's how it's turning out. Yeah, and it's really cool and how it's changing the way things are happening. So I was doing things like that. Different orders in different ways, and it's just so cool. Like how you can just do whatever you want, basically. And so the problem I have with open world games is that there's like too much to do.
Yep. Agreed.
This is open world in a way that doesn't feel that way. There's always something to do, and it's always just around the corner.
So I do have a question about that. Is it open world or is it open decision?
Ooh, it's probably open decision then.
Because
I've never heard that term, but
it's a term that I've just thought of. It literally just popped into my head, and it comes down to I've been streaming Sherlock Holmes: The Awakened, which is way. I mean, it's. I feel similarly toward it I feel similarly to. Words are failing me here. I feel similarly towards this game to how I felt after playing Goof Troop. It has no right to be as good as it is.
Okay.
We're 4 chapters. We're approaching chapter 4 now, and only just like RPD pointed out the other day that despite all the information that the game has given us, and it continues to give us, we're still not using it. Like, and I said, we're 3 streams in, and it's just starting to feel like we know what we're doing.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's exactly how it feels right to me, in that regard. It is a closed loop game. But you are free to make your own decisions as to when you trigger the next thing, where you go within a certain loop, and it's. I would liken it in that way to the Batman Arkham games. I mean, Arkham City and Arkham Knight are open world games technically, but they're more accurately open decision games. You decide where you want to go and when, and you can get there relatively quickly.
I don't know. I would consider that saying that's kind of like what open world is.
Maybe.
But
it's like it's. I've always thought that an open world game is just like it takes an interminable amount of time to cross the map.
No, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Because I would say that Arkham games are technically open world. Open world games, I think, are games that you can just do what you want when you want, like in whatever order you want to do things.
Okay.
That's how, in my head, what I would consider open world.
Sure.
Now, this open decision concept that you said, now, the first thing that popped into my head is not necessarily, oh, you can do things what you want or when you want. It's that you can just, like, straight up do things in whatever order, which is technically open world.
Yeah.
But it changes the other thing.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
There's so it doesn't necessarily, that's your decision.
Right.
Like Arkham, you go do one zone and then, or go do the other zone, and it doesn't matter which zone you did first, the other zone's going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
I just got to a straight up point where it's like, listen, if you go forward here, this is going to have irreplicable changes on your game state. It straight up told me that. It's like,
Yeah.
you're going to lose quests. The map's going to change depending on what decision you make going forward. Just a heads up type of thing.
That's honestly, there's parts of Sherlock Holmes that do that too. Like it'll flash on the screen. You can move on, but you're not done here. Basically, like, you're not done here.
Oh, it doesn't tell
rather
you
may
done,
or may not be done here. And you can, like, if you analyze something incorrectly, Holmes sticks with that, and it impacts your game decision. So it's interesting. All right, I need to come up with a color for the base ring here. Mr. Fantastic is basically just done. I'm really happy with
his suit blue.
Yeah, but that's 3 different shades of blue. I think I'll just go with... Actually, let me look at what it is together. Okay, that makes it easy. I'm gonna go dark blue. Or wait, do I go Macragge blue or Cantor blue? Yay, fixing Citadel pots. I will be so glad to get these stupid paints out of my set.
You're not going to get rid of them, are you?
No, I'm just gonna use them until they're gone.
Yeah.
Which an unfortunate amount of them already are.
Oh, already gone?
Yeah, well, because the caps gum up and then don't close properly and they dry out. It's stupid.
Oh, yeah. So they're not used up, they're just dried up. That's a shame. There's an unfortunate difference in that.
Clearly, Games Workshop did not have gravity involved in mind when they designed these.
They didn't have any type of physics. They're like, oh yeah, let's just use this. You could just dip your paintbrush into the pot. That's a great idea. What happens if you leave the pot open? No one's gonna be like, do that. Why would they ever do that? And then 10 years later, well, we can't change it now. Too late.
Oh, it's more than 10. I've been building pots like these since the 80s.
Yeah.
No, dude. Like, genuinely.
No, what I'm saying is that's when they decided, like, they're going
to double down on their mistake, yeah.
No. Everyone's complaining about these pots.
Somewhere... Do I have within range? No, I can't without making a mess, but I do have some very early Citadel pots that are just as bad. They're screw tops.
Oh, I remember those. Those were actually the design of a lot of paints back then, though.
Yes.
That wasn't just Citadel.
No, that was very common.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, I guess fine. Like, you're using whatever the common style is. I can't really blame them for that. What I do blame them for is the fact that every other company has droppers.
Moved to dropper bottles, and they were like, no!
And Citadel does not want to do that. I can blame them for that, 100%.
That's gonna be a pain. I'm not on screen. Awesome. Go me.
Yeah. Keep working over here. Are you gonna get Sea of Stars?
I don't think so.
Really? As much as you clamor about Chrono Trigger, you're gonna ignore the spiritual successor?
Chrono Trigger is not the kind of game that I normally gravitate towards. It is, yes, in my top 5 games of all time. But it was a lot, like, I followed a walkthrough when I played that. And if I hadn't, I would have been so hopelessly lost. I would have been incredibly angry and frustrated.
Okay.
It was the other components of that game adding up to create the coherent whole. And that's not necessarily entirely true either. Like, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Okay.
I hear Sea of, and I immediately think Sea of Thieves. So I guess I didn't put it together that was a spiritual successor to Chrono Trigger.
That's fair too.
I just figured it was Sea of Thieves in space.
Have you played Sea of Thieves?
Yeah, briefly with Alex.
I have not.
It's fun.
It's one that I wanted to.
It's fun. It's not for me, but it's fun.
Like, I can see it being really good if you can get like a group of 4 or 5 guys together.
Exactly, yeah.
If I had the time.
The time in the right group, yeah, maybe I'd enjoy that.
Exactly.
For the same reason that we never finished Elden Ring. Which is another one I'd never do. I'd never get to. So why spend the money on it?
That's fair. I feel the same way.
So yeah, you asked about getting rid of the Citadel paints, and the answer is, I don't think I'll ever completely get rid of Citadel paints. There are several that I use frequently and I really like. The Bugman's Glow, Cadian Flesh Tone Kislev Flesh for, generic white person is like an unbeatable combo. I love the way those come together. But, and like, if I go back to painting Chaos Dwarfs, I've still got a few Chaos Dwarfs that I still need to finish. I'll definitely use Citadel paints for those, because I started them with that. But
that's fair.
I just think this new system will improve my ability to color match for Marvel characters and DC.
That's fair. I want, like, there's a couple systems I've been eyeballing. That was one of them, which we will not mention right now. But
yeah,
there's
we'll
a couple other
that.
ones.
Certainly, I want more Green
saw.
Stuff World. Like, I really like those. The consistency is really good. The coverage is really good, and of course, obviously, the technical component. Well, here's Mr. Fantastic. I think he's done at this point. Let's get him on camera here.
There you
Very
go.
happy with him. I'll zoom out and get the whole Fantastic, the whole family out here together. Hold on. second. This camera. Unfortunately, it's set up for painting, not for showing off miniatures, so. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how the Fantastic Four came out.
Yeah, you did a great job, especially with like Ben.
Yeah, taking that risk on Ben and doing the sort of crevices just deliberately in black was that paid off.
Agreed. You did a great job with Ben.
I'm also really happy with how Johnny came out with the clear resin. And Sue, I didn't do a whole lot with. She's just clear resin, but with some highlights. All right, who's next?
Great question. Who do you have next? Who's on the line? I primed the heads, and arms of black. And I ordered some specialty paints for him. So he will be taking up the table soon. Which is exciting. And he's going to be... we're going to do a metallic purple and probably some blues for his armor and his suit. But my one big problem that I encountered with him was my hubris that I touched him first before he was fully primed. So now I have to strip one of his... I think it was his arm. Yeah, it was his arm. And it was like the cuff of his hand. And the problem was that it's right on the top of his cuff, so it's in a highly visible area, and I just touched it with my hand, so it made a texture, and then now I'm gotta figure out something. The primer, I tried sanding it and repriming it, didn't work. So I'm gonna have to. Well, that was still a little wet when I was sanding it, so it wasn't the greatest. So I'm gonna have to try resanding it, and I'm gonna try some paint thinner also, so I can get it a little. Hopefully, I can get a lot of it off, and then I'll reprime that area, and hopefully it's a lot smoother that time. It sucks, but it is what it is. That's what happens with minis sometimes. I haven't touched his body yet, though, or his giant machine, because that's the other 90% of him. I'm not a fan of how these are coming out. They're coming out too sloppy, but it's okay. That's why there's 14. Problem is I start wanting just to get through them, so I start making sloppy mistakes. The first one's always good. And then we get worse as it goes. And then I start noticing the mistakes, and then I start getting better again, and then so it's about half of them. Yeah.
Okay. There is an obvious answer here, and that is Electra Nachios.
Electra?
Yep.
Why is that an obvious answer? Please explain.
Because I'm always working on Hell's Kitchen characters.
Oh, well.
It was actually down between her and the Daughters of the Dragon. But I'm not quite ready to show off my remix of the C-27 Colleen yet. I need to get some good reference photos first. Where Electra, I just know her like the back of my hand, so no reference photo needed.
Really? You're gonna just
I'm just balling. I'm just gonna ball so hard.
ball so hard? Wow. Good for you.
I mean,
You got some Doritos there for your nachos?
go to bed. I have
Okay.
a bunch of Frank Miller Daredevils right here, like genuinely right behind me. So, in a pinch, if I needed something, I could reference that with the computer. But
I don't think we talked about Gen Con. No, we didn't.
we definitely haven't because it's been 2 months. Gen Con was fantastic.
Yeah, you worked the entire time?
I sure did. I got. Well, I mean, entire time is such a bizarre word or bizarre phrase because, like, yes, I was working, but, like, I could take a few minutes here or there to walk around. But we did it like a little bit differently this year. So I got in, and this was a mistake because I really should be at home with Katie and the baby as long as I can, and I left a day early. I got there with a full day to spare. So I was just hanging out at Jacqueline's, playing. Actually, we didn't play a single game. We watched the new Futurama and we watched Taskmaster. And we were like, Greg kept trying to be like, come play games with me, come play games with me. And we're like, dude, we are about to work for 4 days straight. More than that, almost 5 days straight. Because we have like a setup day on Wednesday. And we're like, this is the only opportunity we're going to have to shut our brains down. We're going to enjoy this and just chill. And you should too. And he just couldn't accept that. And it was starting to bother us, but that's, it's fine. He is a Bonzi buddy after all. And then, so once the con started, like, properly, I was pretty much on shift the whole time. We realized very quickly into the weekend, or into Thursday, that there were only, like, 2 people trained on the register.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Other than myself. And so the people who I've worked with in the past were like, do you remember how the register works? I'm like, yeah, of course I do. And they're like, great. We're reassigning you. You're now over there, and you're now in charge of the sales area. I was like, awesome. Makes me happy. That's like my happy zone, man. And boy, did we sell stuff. Like, it was not slow. I probably can't say the final sales figure, although I do know it.
No, I wouldn't say that. I would not say that.
Yeah. Probably some sort of breach of confidentiality. Not that I've been expressly told not to, but whatever. I'll
it doesn't
err on the
matter.
side of caution on this one. It was a very good show, and I did get about 15-20 minutes to wander around with Faye, Adam's sister, our friend Mindari. And I did spend one evening with Adam in which we drunk texted Jamali a sort of a kissy face picture, wish you were here sort of situation.
This is a fact. I have that picture.
It was actually a pretty good picture for us both being inebriated.
It was a good picture.
I got to see some people who I haven't seen in, most notably, I got to see Dave Beck, who repeat viewers of the channel may recognize from one episode where he played Trapped in Arkham with us. And he was my digital arts professor from college. He is the teacher who taught me the most about teaching, even though he never was a teaching professor per se. He made me fall in love with the art of teaching, and here we are.
That's awesome. Dude.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah, it was excellent. We ended up getting co-opted into work. So our shift ended officially at 6 or something. And 3 days in a row, we got co-opted into working extra.
Oh, wow.
We were the first night, it was just hey, everybody's going to be here. Christopher's going to be here, and come and hang out and play games and learn the stuff you're going to be demoing all weekend. Well, I'm not... My role is not demoer anymore. I'm a sidekick, and I have been for quite a while, which means I know a smattering about the majority of the games we sell. Enough to talk them up and sell more copies. But also, I'm there to support the regular citizens, whatever. So I was just kind of wandering, bopping back and forth between game to game, picking up tidbits here and there. And Braithwaite goes, hey, we're doing a playtesting night tomorrow. You guys should be there. And Jacqueline and I were like, oh yeah, that sounds like a great plan. What we didn't find out until the next day is that it was a ticketed event. We of course didn't have tickets, because why would we? We're working. And so they had 3 games out. I don't know how much I can talk about. I know one of them is Defenders of the Realm. I can talk about that. That's public knowledge. The second one, the one that we played a bunch of, I don't know if I can talk about. And the third one, I definitely can't talk about. But Matt Kroll, in his infinite wisdom, was trying to run 9 tables of one game by himself. 9 tables by himself. Which any demoer will tell you is monumentally stupid.
Well, running even 2 or 3 is 2 is rough.
Yes. 3 is asinine. 9 is monumentally stupid. So Paul walks in, and he sees Matt and Braithwaite. At this point, Braithwaite had been okay, I will take a few of these tables away from you. And Jacqueline and I are just standing there. We've got our sidekick shirts off. We are clearly off the clock. And Paul comes up to us and says, why is Matt running 9 tables by himself? And we're like, well, we were told to clock out. We were told we were not to be on the clock after our shift ended. And he goes, I don't care what you were told. I'm telling you to clock back in right now. And we're like, great. All right. Bet. Game on. And that happened 3 nights in a row. That sort of situation.
Well,
yeah, it was, great for my bank account.
Yeah, I bet.
Came right when we needed it too. We had some expenses to deal with.
That's good.
Yeah.
Very good. So.
But I think, for reasons that I texted you that I will keep away from the stream, Gen Con will be a little bit easier in the future to manage financially. As will potentially traveling to visit our buddy.
Yeah. It's good.
Yep. I
Good.
can't. It's hard to be away from Katie and the baby. Like, it's really hard, and it's even harder on them. So like next
I get
year,
that.
I will not be going to Gen Con for a full week. I will be there on the convention days, but I will not be there early, and I will not be staying any later than I absolutely have to. Part of that is we leave on family vacation like right after Gen Con.
Oh yeah, you left like I don't even know if you unpacked.
I didn't bother. Just wore the same.
There you
I
go.
washed my clothes when I got to my sister's, and it was the right decision.
Didn't even unpack.
But that was a fun trip too. Like, that was a really fun trip. We will definitely be making it again next year,
That's good.
and we're looking forward to not having to drive in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I bet. That's not good. Driving in the middle of the night sucks. I've
Yeah.
done it plenty of times. I can attest to that fact.
Yeah, it's awful. I when we drove out to Gen Con that one year, I did it as well, and it was like, I was like, why am I doing this? This is dumb.
Yeah, no, it's miserable.
And of course, I was the only that trip to Gen Con. I was the only driver because I wouldn't let Alex drive my car.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. Well, the GTI's a stick, so he doesn't know how to drive stick. He knows, like,
Oh.
in theory, but not in practice. I'm like, yeah, I'm not teaching you to drive stick while we drive halfway across the country. That's stupid.
On my car.
On my car, yeah.
Yeah, no. It's stick is one of those things I have tried a few times, and I just don't have a car to practice enough on.
Mm-hmm.
I have the concept down, and I know the general functions. I just don't have enough practice to do it smoothly.
Yeah.
Which is not easy to do smoothly. So
Yeah, I've been driving stick since I learned to drive on a stick, so.
yeah,
And that was crucial when I bought the Volkswagen. Subaru, I didn't really care. I was like, whatever. I just need a car that can carry my daughter.
yeah, no, for sure. So what style Electra are you doing? You're obviously doing the new Daredevil Electra.
No. No, I'm doing Frank Miller style. So it'll be heavy black heavy black highlights, or lowlights rather. Oops, missed a bit. Whatever, it's fine. I can fix it later. And we'll probably base her, like, the decision comes pretty late in the process. You know what comic issue I base her on, but it'll probably be her first appearance.
You like those first appearance variants?
I do. I'm still pushing. I actually got to submit that like tonight. I'm trying to get C27 to make classic Gwen Stacy.
Classic Gwen.
It's like Death of Gwen Stacy. Green jacket.
Not Spider Gwen.
We already have that. We have Ghost Spider so many times over.
Which is ridiculous.
The fact that we have Ghost Spider and not Classic Gwen is absurd.
Well,
I mean, granted, and we say this all the time, our comic sensibilities tend to be firmly rooted in, hey, remote errors here, in the past. I refer to it sometimes to my friends as my tragically 90s comic sensibilities.
well, there's a lot of issues with, like, that we have with the current sensibilities.
Yes.
I don't know if I sensibilities, but like current comics, I guess.
Yeah, well, current comic, the mindset.
Mindset, maybe that's a good word for it.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Welcome back. We had some life happen, and that's why we haven't been painting lately.
Life gets in the way,
Life finds a way to get in the way.
but life isn't a problem.
No. No, yeah, that's a very important distinction. It is good life stuff. Yeah, just a lot of it.
Yeah. A lot of good life stuff.
Mm-hmm. Alright, my thumb is starting to fall asleep, so I'm gonna take a minute.
I'm hoping to get to PAX Unplugged this year. We bought tickets.
Nice. I will not be there. Like, absolutely for sure.
But we'll see. We have a hotel booked, just in case. And right now the outlook is good, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Last minute stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly gonna, like, I will certainly look into it, but like, the reality is, leaving. So first of all, it's hard for me to take that time off.
Yeah.
It's just it's at such a strange time of the year. That
It
I
is.
really just need to be in my classroom.
It's like, I don't know why they picked, like, that's like one of the weirdest times of the year to pick. I don't know why they do it at that time. Like, it's right in between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah. Might as well be between recess and lunch. RPD, I'm not sure what you mean.
Yes. Exactly. It's a weird time to pick, and the only reason I can go during that time is because it's such a weird time, which is probably why they picked it. Because no one wants to take off during, like, everyone wants Thanksgiving or Christmas off. No one wants the weeks between them off.
Right.
It's like, oh, well, that makes it easy for me. And since I don't work in like a commercial enterprise, I guess.
Yeah,
Makes it easier and easier.
I guess. I just like.
But it's such a problem for most people. Okay,
RPG,
finally done.
That's an interesting way of thinking about it. I guess I hadn't considered that.
What did he say?
He says that the idea that as you being you and me focus on family and adulting, he continues to live the life that one dreams of when they're 12, thanks to his retirement and autism giving him a Peter Pan-esque ability to not grow up.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, do the thing, right?
I have a lot of different colors, and I don't remember what half of them are. Here is my flesh tones.
Also, great reference to the Clash. From what era?
I wish I had some sort of like reference to these colors.
What do you mean?
Like what they actually turn out to be.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
bottle colors are deceiving.
Oh, without doubt. A try example. Yeah, no, I got you.
This one's good. I know that.
Yeah, a dry example more specifically over the primer that we're using too.
There is a website that I used for the speed paints.
Oh, golly.
Do I have to look up? Here we are.
This is just my shoulder.
And the browns. It's like an orange, I think. Oh, the browns. Oh, this one. That one's. That one needs to go back.
I can't move my hand in
This
there.
one. Okay, I think that's plenty of different colors for skin tones. I don't need that many skin tones.
That's the nice thing about working on named characters. Is the skin tone is kind of established for you.
Woo.
Where when you're working on minions, you're like, well, I'd like to be representative of the skin tone spectrum. Just, I mean, you know, it looks better that way.
What time is it? 11:40. Okay, I can at least start these
Yeah.
after I put the paint on. I see that.
Ouch! Ow! Sat on my own foot.
Maybe I should have done white bases. That's fine. It'll give more depth to the color.
There you go.
Different shades. Oh. Huh.
Did you see my post that
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, did my voice cut out? Hold on.
I guess not.
No, I am. Can you hear me now? Am I here now?
You are here now.
Okay. Sorry, I bumped a button somewhere.
It's okay.
Did you see my post that SAG-AFTRA is authorizing voice actor strikes for video games too?
I did. I don't know how I feel about that because I play mostly indie games, so it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm playing so much retro stuff that, like, the only thing that I'm worried about is Wolverine, and like
Yeah,
I
that'll
can
come out
wait
when
for
it
that.
There's
So-
not really anything that I can say that like I
Like
feel
that's the
strongly
thing.
about.
Like I'm firmly in a. I am a patient man. You know, I do not. Nothing needs to be rushed. I don't feel entitled to new movies. I don't feel entitled to new games. Take your time, make the right contracts, and do the right thing by everybody.
Yeah, like it'll come out when it comes out. I'm not
Yeah.
worried about it. Now they might run out of money, and that's a shame. But
Yeah, but then it doesn't come out, and like whatever, fine, nobody sees it.
yeah. Especially with AAA games, I don't care.
Yeah, like what are the majority of the AAA games we're playing? Nintendo,
Yeah, that's
and they're not the ones under fire.
Baldur's Gate. I've been playing, but like that's done. So I'm good.
Yep.
I had no interest in like what's the other one? Starfield.
Yep.
Zero interest.
Yep.
I might play it eventually, but
Oh shoot, my camera's locked. Good gosh, everything's just falling apart over here. Wait, this might be the sloppiest base coat I've ever put on anything.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, it's base coat, and it's the first color. Like, who cares? It's gonna come out in the wash, but it's like really ugly.
It's fine. Everything's just gonna be fine.
Everything is fine. If anybody asks, my name is Lars Gerhard, and I was never here. Alright. What other bits of red do we need here? Right there. Stuff tracks all just fine. So right after my trip to Virginia, we ended up on the Outer Banks in North Carolina for a while.
Well, that's fun.
It was so much fun. It was about 20 or so members of my family all together. And just hanging out on the beach. Just having a good time. And like we used to do that when I was growing up, like every year. And then, my teaching schedule just got, it was so, like, they would go down during my first week of teaching, and I was like, I can't go. Like, and my mom was always like, why not? We start late, we start after you. And I'm like, yeah, that's why. My school starts before yours does. And so this year they intentionally lined it up with my school schedule, which sort of accidentally lined it up with my cousin's kids' school schedules, which meant everybody could be there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We rented
Great
like
success.
3 houses, I think, total between all of us. We got together,
Wow.
got everybody together a couple of nights. We were together all day on the beach, but like a couple of nights we got together and like we did a big family like easy meal, like quick and easy situation. We did walking tacos. I don't know if you ever heard of those, but they're
Yeah,
delicious.
the Frito bags.
Yeah. And I made a drink for everybody. We called it Peach on the Beach.
A drink. One drink. No more, no less for anyone else.
No, that was definitely more made for some people than for others, but it was another drink with a similar name. But for
I figured as much.
Yep. For language purposes, I won't say, but it's just something else on the beach. Wherein the flavor profile is orange with cranberry and peach. So I flip-flopped the orange and peach flavor profiles. And it ended up being peach juice, which I ended up the only peach juice I could find was peach mango, but I was like, this is fine. Cranberry juice, and then the liquor was vodka and Cointreau, and then a little splash of so it was peach juice, vodka, Cointreau, and a splash of cranberry, and then the rim of the glass was turbinado sugar, because the namesake of that drink was my cousin's child, Mariah, when she was about, probably about your daughter's age, really. Dropped a peach in the sand and picked it up and ate it.
I'm sure she loved it.
Oh, she sure did. It's been a family legend ever since. And I was like, well, that's the drink that I need to make is peach on the beach. So I did.
There you go. Well played.
Mm-hmm. And it was delicious. It was absolutely phenomenal. I was very proud of it. And multiple people came to tell me how good it was. Made me feel pretty good. And then the next night, oh, hey, Blink. Cheers. It's Lemonberry tonight. We went out for like a big, we called it the Millennials Dinner, where all my cousins and I went out to like not a nice restaurant, but like a decent place, you know?
Yes.
And I had seafood that wasn't just fish for the first time in a very long time. And
Oh, wow.
Because like I'm allergic to a lot of seafood.
Oh, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's a bummer. But I was like, I don't think I'm allergic to crab. I really don't. And turns out I am correct.
Crab, I love. Lobster.
I am not
Okay.
a lobster guy. I don't care for it.
Lobster's overpriced. I will say.
That is true.
But I like it. I will eat it. All the time. If I can. but it is 100% overpriced. And maybe rightfully so, due to what they have to do to get the lobster and crabs and stuff. But
Yeah. But yeah, we ordered. We had a really good time, and it was just like nice to get everybody sitting down in the same room together, without the babies.
yeah, I bet. I bet.
My cousin Chris ended up paying for everybody just because he was so happy to have everybody together again.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Yeah. He's a very generous dude. Like he's a surgeon's assistant, and his wife is a surgeon. So,
Oh, wow.
like, they have money.
Good for them.
Yeah. And when I say they have money, like, they have debt too. But
Well, I bet. Yeah.
you know,
But they can afford to maybe like go lower on one of their bills one day, or
Yeah.
like not overpay the loan or something like that.
right. Remote Error makes a really good point in chat, noting that lobster is such a funny thing because it used to be like a poor man's food.
It was the poor man's food,
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
the
It was-
slave food.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%. It is a
Stupid camera.
it was not a luxury food at all.
No.
How to get hair colors. Take a bunch of browns and mix them together. And just keep
Yep.
mixing different colors until you... And then just throw it on the hair.
Yep. Start with a little yellow too.
Yellow for blonders, yep.
Yep.
Yellow's not a bad one. Yeah.
And certainly grays.
Grays and whites as highlights or things.
Well, I mean, if I want someone to look old, like if I'm painting,
Oh, yeah. But shield agents shouldn't be
Oh,
older.
well- I don't know.
There can be some, but these are like the speed
Yeah, these are your just grunt, like
fast guys. Yeah.
yeah.
They're not gonna be the old ones.
No, not at all.
The old ones are gonna be the either the generics, the super generic troopers, or the or the Coulsons.
Yeah. Boy, I am not looking forward to painting a bunch of shield agents, and I know I'm gonna have to at some point.
My thought now, if I were to change things, let me rephrase that. When I change things, and when I have to paint 1,000,000 multiple men and reavers, my thing is I'm going to paint one, and then that's it. And then I'll go on to a different model, and hopefully, and then I'll come back to another reaver or something later.
I think I might
prime them
batch
all.
paint them and do like 5 at a time.
5 at a time might be a reasonable number, but I'm not going to paint 35 at once,
Right.
which is what I did.
Yeah, that was excessive.
That was a lot. And even the 14 at once is a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
Or the 7 that I've been doing at once kind of wears on me. So it's going to have to be less than that. Maybe 3 or 4s.
There we go. There we go. Now I gotta focus on her. Stupid camera.
I don't even know
Still
what
not.
colors I'm mixing anymore together. Oh, red. Red, you also want a reddish brown.
Oh,
Or
definitely.
red.
I've never eaten a brown reddish before. Three Stooges, sing a song with sixpence.
Not aware.
I grew up watching the Three Stooges with my dad.
Three Stooges are classics. I will give you that. I am not familiar with them all, though.
That episode was a Mo Larry Shemp episode. I always liked Shemp better than Curly, and maybe that was just to be contrarian, but
it's possible. Almost done. I need to lean back. My back is hurting. And then, what's next?
oh, come on, camera.
The fun ones, I think. I don't know what I should do next week. If I should do Galactus and start him. No, I have to wait for these things. So I'll probably do... I don't know. I'll probably paint one of the heroes. Maybe I'll start with Silver Surfer. He'll be easy. I can do two of him at once.
I think we just put files of Silver Surfer too.
The undead Silver Surfer has a base of bone skulls.
That's cool.
I don't know how I'm going to paint his open wounds, though, to be honest.
Oh yeah, the one they make the root beer is really good, Remote Air. Bust down to a smaller brush to finish up with this black, and then we will probably call it quits.
Yeah, it might be a good idea.
As my kombucha supply runs very low.
Leave the goggles for another day. I actually like the differences in the hairs that I got. There's a couple that didn't turn out as well as I would have liked. C'est la vie.
Indeed.
No, it's la vie.
Go to bed. Oh, that was another good story from Gen Con, actually. So, Flat River Group is the company that owns Greater Than Games. And this is my first time working with them, right? And there's some French connection there. I'm not certain exactly what it was, so I don't want to speak out of turn. But one of the higher ups would periodically come back behind my register and just like check the financials and stuff. And he would have meetings with certain reps in French because, you know, that if that's the language they speak, that's the polite thing to do. But I also think it's kind of a power trip. You know, like, hey, look at me, I speak French, sort of thing. And so one day he was having a meeting behind my register, and he didn't realize that I speak French. So when the person he was meeting with asked for a certain product, I just went and got it. And like, French is so, it's just such a part of me that I don't even think about it. And it floored everybody when I showed up and with the answer to the question she was asking.
Oh.
And from then on, There were no more French meetings behind me. But there were French greetings every morning, which was nice.
I would say it's rude to have a conversation in another language.
Well, when it's... I don't know that it would be, because, like, if the
Even
person
if it's
you're
not...
meeting with is a native speaker and you speak their language, I think that's polite. To do it...
That is polite. But if you do that in another room away from people,
Yeah.
I think it's rude to do it in a common area that is shared with other people, regardless of their standing or whatever.
Maybe. I think the meeting had started elsewhere. I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. All right. That's about as good as it's going to get tonight. I will finish patching this up next week. Because my hands are starting to shake, which is interesting. I've never had that happen before. Anyway. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. I apologize to those of you who just arrived. It's the end of the night. And I got a daughter to look after in 5 hours or whatever, five and a half hours. As I'm sure you do as well.
Thanks for stopping by, though.
Thank you for hanging out, Chamali. Thank you for joining me and bringing back the show. It is our intention to bring it back next week. Hopefully, Broody will be with us. I don't believe he has to work or will still be on vacation. So here we go. I will be back on the channel on Monday for more Sherlock Holmes: The Awakened, as long as I'm not completely burnt out. I shouldn't be. It's a just day off at home, so should be perfectly fine. And then same on Friday. I don't believe there's going to be a podcast tomorrow. I think Josh is away. But there's whispers of a surprise Ninja Turtles stream coming soon. So keep your eyes peeled for that. In the meantime, be safe, be well, and have a great rest of the weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye.